Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here with me 6 Pineider Pen Fillers. These are new, have recently come out. Most retailers that stock Pineider pens will stock these. I received a couple of these for review from Brian Goulet at gouletpens.com, and I have since purchased a number more. I did a group buy with Stefano at Stilograph Corsani for our UK South and our London fountain pen clubs. So I wanted to show you these, and I wanted to show you how these work. Now, these are basically travelling ink pots or travelling ink wells. Now, Visconti have previously made one of these, and this was the newest incarnation. And this was originally made by Dante Del Vecchio, who was the founder at Visconti, and he is now at Pineider. So he has now come out with a new version of that pen filler, and this one is a lot better, because the Visconti one, basically what you had to do is you have to pull off this friction fit cap, and it has like a rubber insert in here, and it is possible to have these leak or even stick over time, or crack even. I've had at least one where it's cracked because it's plastic. So let me show you these Pineider pen fillers. So let me move these ones out of the way for the time being, and let me show you this one here. So you'll see here the pen filler here has Pineider listed on it. There you go. And then it has this line here, which is the maximum fill line, and you can see here you have this gradient here. So it's 3 cc's down here, which I believe is around a cc is around 1 milliliter. So that's 3 milliliters up to 10 milliliters, and it says here max ink level, do not overfill. Now you have this cap on here, and it's a friction fit cap, or stopper, you could call it, and then you have this here. Now what you do is you unscrew this, and it's quite tight, and if you unscrew it all the way, you basically have this cap here, and then this blue rubber, which just pushes into the bottle here, into the neck of the bottle. So the idea is, what happens is you push this on, and the more that you screw it, it actually creates pressure on this blue thing here, and basically tries to create a very tight seal around your pen. Now, I have 6 of these here with me at the moment, and one thing I have found is that if you take the cap off on these, no matter how you try to screw this back on again, you will find that it starts to cross thread. So you have to kind of apply pressure, and a lot of pressure, when initially screwing it on to actually screw it so it doesn't cross thread itself. And then obviously you have this stopper here to stop ink leaking out eventually. So I thought what I'd do to start with is, if I just loosen this up a little bit, if I just zoom out a little bit, what we can see here, I will show a number of pens and show you how these fit, because obviously we want to see whether or not these are most of these pens are going to fit and work. Now, I'm not going to fill these up because there is no ink in this one, but I will fill one of the pens up. So basically what you do is you push it in as far as it will go, and then basically hold the pen, and the pen tries to push itself out when you're screwing it tight. So there you have it. So that's pretty tight at the moment. And then what you do is you upturn it, let gravity do its thing, let the water or the ink fall down to the nib, and then you fill it that way. Now, you can see here that it's actually on quite tight, that I can actually unscrew the barrel here of my converter, or of the body, to get to the converter. So, and then once you've filled it, what you do is you turn it back upright, and then you just loosen the bottle a bit, and then you pull out the pen, wipe the nib, wipe the section, and then you're done. So I think we can say, for safety's sake, that the Pineider Le Grande Bellettes fit in here just fine. Let's try a TWSBI. This is the Diamond 580 AL. Now, I don't have any ecos at the moment, but again, you push it in as far as it will go, and then basically, I'll see if I can try and show you here. You tighten up, and here you go. Like, this pen is not coming out whatsoever. Now, obviously, when you're screwing it up, you want to screw it up with the ink falling down, otherwise you're going to have an inky mess. But then again, like, literally, you can then just operate the piston, fill the pen with ink, and then let it go. So the TWSBI Diamond 580s do fit in there nice and snugly, and that works as well. Let's see what others I have here. I have a Pelikan M600 turquoise white. Now, let's see if this will work. See, not all pens will fit in here. Some, if they have a narrow section, that again, although it's quite a narrow section, this isn't going to come out at all. Like, I can shake this as much as I want. I'm pulling on it and it's not coming out. So the M600 Pelikans are going to fit in here without any problem as well. Now, if you have a section that is going to be quite wide here, or a short section, then you might have problems with this. So let's try this is a Pelikan M800. This is the Royal Gold Warden. And again, this works really, it's in there pretty tight. I can't pull it out easily. So again, the Pelikan M800s are gonna fit. So if you wanted to fill one of those pens up, that would work as well. Let's see what other pens we have. We have a Visconti Van Gogh. This just has a metal section. Now, obviously, what you really want to do, if you have a cartridge converter, you want to remove that first and then screw it up. Otherwise, you might have trouble getting to it. Now, these are, like, that is in there pretty tight. Like, I can pull it out, but I think it's enough to actually not have an issue. It's quite a suction on there. So I think the Van Goghs are probably going to be okay. But bearing in mind, because it's got a metal section, it may not grip as well as maybe some of the plastic sections or acrylic or resin sections. What else do we have here? We have, let's put that one here as well. So that seems to work. We have a Lamy. Now, Lamy has this triangular grip. So let's see with the Lamy and see if that's going to work as well. It's in there solid. My only concern would be, because it's a triangular grip, there is a possibility that ink is going to leak out down the sides of it. So it may not work as well with pens with the triangular grip. Although actually saying that was in there pretty tight. I had great difficulty trying to get that one out. And then what else have we got here? We have a Pilot Custom 823 FA. So this has the FA flex nib. So now, what you do have to be careful when you're putting it in here is that you don't put the pen in at an angle, because you do have ridges inside here, and you could catch the tines. So you do have to be a little bit careful when putting that in there. Again, this is going to fit really well. It's very tight in there. So Pilot Custom 823s shouldn't be a problem. We have the Visconti Opera Masters. Now, obviously, this has a metal section. Now, this actually goes up onto the threads here. So, if I just screw that down, again, that is going to work. Now, one thing you do have to be careful with power vacs is how you fill them. So, what you want to do, and this is the same with the Visconti travelling inkwells, what you want to do first is basically expel any, so you can pull the piston up and then push it down, basically to expel any air and then place it in, because what you don't want to do is start with the piston out, then put it in, because basically you then have around 2 milliliters of extra air that you're going to be pushing into any kind of inkwell, and then that is just going to shoot it off like a rocket. So you want to be able to push the piston or the power vac knob down first, then put it in, then screw it up tight. So the Visconti Opera Masters fit it really well. So that's really good, because that's really why I wanted these Pineider Pen Fillers for. Now, how about the Homo sapiens? Now, the problem with the Homo sapiens is it has a little bit of a short section here, and then it has this hook safe lock, and then it has this metal band. So the problem we have here with this is that you cannot get the pen in very far. You cannot get it over that hook safe lock. So if I now screw this in place, what you'll see here is that just like it won't go in that far. So the problem you're going to have is that this is going to leak on the Visconti Homo sapiens pens. So this is something to bear in mind. You probably could fill it, but you would have to be a little bit careful. Now, I'll do it with a Bronze Age here, just to show, because I know probably if any of you have got Viscontis, they are going to be Bronze Ages. And again, you cannot get it over there. So it's not going to grip on that hard to the pen. So, or the pen filler onto the pen. So because of this hook safe lock mechanism that we have here. So unfortunately, the Visconti Homo sapien range is not going to work, or not going to work safely, I should say. Now I have a very large pen, which is the Armando Simone Club, and this is the Bologna Extra Arco. So if I push this in, now it will go in most of the way, and if I screw this down, now this is in absolutely solid. So again, I'm not going to have a problem. And this is a whopping number 8 size nib in here for the Armando Simone Club Bologna. So I'm really glad, because really I wanted this for a lot of my power vacs and also my larger number 8 size nibs. Now, here's another one, and this is a number 8 size nib, and this is a pen I picked up recently, which is the Montegrappa Extra 1930 Shiny Lines Dove. And this holds around about a milliliter, about 0.8 to about 1.2 milliliters of ink. Now the problem with these is, again, they have very large threads here, but you can just get it in. So if you screw this down tight again, it's a perfect fit. So it's not going to come out. So it is going to fill. And it's not going to leak, or shouldn't leak, I should say. So let me try this now, and I will show you a demonstration with actually inking this up. So let me remove these pens out of the way, and then we will give this a try. So we have here, this is Diamine Earl Grey, and I have that inked up in the Montegrappa Extra 1930 Shiny Lines Dove. I'll put this back on there, and I'll show you how I do this. So I'm going to put a little bit of paper down, just in case. It shouldn't leak. Now, if you have some ink left in the pen, you're going to want to expel that ink first. So you're not going to want to screw this down. So I've taken the cap off. Now, if I pour this out, I'm going to get a load of ink everywhere. So I'm just going to loosen this cap now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the pen in here just loosely. And now I'm going to activate the piston. And I am going to basically expel all of the ink out of there that I can. And that was actually running pretty dry. Now I'm going to push it in fully. And now I'm going to tighten it up. And now you can see that is in there quite tight. So what you now do is, if I show you here, you can just about see the nib point there, the tip of the tines. So I'm going to now let gravity do its thing, and then I'm going to fill, using the piston knob, the pen. And this is letting gravity do its thing. So now you can see there's a lot less ink left in that pen filler. And I will just loosen that off a little bit, and now just push, and then you hear a suction. And then I'm just going to put this cap back on. Don't forget to screw the cap back down into place. Put the plunger in, or the cap in, and that way now it's fully secure. And then I will just wipe off the section here, just wipe off the nib, and now I actually have a full pen of ink. So it works really well, these pen fillers. Now, the only concern I do have is that this is all plastic, it's not glass. So these are, they could shatter over time, especially if you have it in extreme weather conditions. My biggest concern is that you have this piece of rubber in here, or plasticky rubber, I should say, like latex. And then you're screwing these threads down tight against the pen that's stuck inside. My concern is that these threads here may crack over time. But is it a major problem? These are, what, $25 or €20. It's not like the Visconti version that was around about, I think around about $50 or $60. Maybe even have been $70. They retail in the UK around about £45. So replacing one of the Visconti versions here is obviously going to hurt your wallet a lot more. So with these around about €20 or $25 US, if this does crack, I don't see it being too much of a problem. Now, the other thing is, obviously, you have this do not fill line here, the max ink. Now, that really is going to be more for power fillers. So that holds 10 milliliters of ink. You probably could get maybe another 4 or 5 in there if you were just using converter pens or piston pens and expelled the air or the ink first. But clearly, though, there is that do not overfill level for a reason. So that, again, is something to bear in mind. Now, I'll show you something here. I am a fan of these, like, traveling ink pots or ink wells. And I'll show you why, if I can get these on camera. Because this is a little insane. This is my current set of traveling ink wells, and I take these with me a lot of the time. I have, most of these are inked up with various inks, so I have here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 Visconti traveling ink wells. Not all of them are full, like this one is empty that I was showing you. This one is empty. That came with the Brunelleschi. This came with the Ducali. So I have 10 of those, and I have another 6 here of the Pineider ones. I also actually recently bought this box. I wanted something to put them in. I've been putting them in a mug for a while, and I bought this. This was from Cult Pens. It's a Koh-i-Noor Hardsmouth, and it's a really just a pen organizer. But it actually fits 2 of these travelling inkwells quite nicely. So if you start getting a stash of these, then you can really put a lot in there. So I've got space for at least another 2 Visconti ones or another Pineider. And it just, for me, it just sits on my desk, and I can just re-ink my pens from these nice and easy. So I thought I would just show you those because it can become a little bit of a disease, as we say in the hobby. I probably don't need that many, but it's more convenience than anything. So I thought I would just show you those. And now I know what some of you are going to ask is, will it fit in a lot of pen cases? Well, the Visconti pen cases are normally quite narrow. It will fit in here, but you're going to find that it might be a little bit more tighter than maybe the average pen. But it will fit in here quite nicely. Now, you can try other pen cases as well. It's not going to fit in pen cases like the Franklin Christoph penvelopes, any that have like really thick loops. Now I have a Notco case here. Now let's see if it will fit in these sleeves. It's going to be tight, but it will just about fit. Let's see if I can get them in next to each other, just to make sure that it's not going to be a problem. So there you go. You can stick them in here. It will go in there, but again, it's quite tight. So there may be some pen cases that these pen fillers may not fit into. These Pineider pen fillers, personally, I think they are worth the money. They are plastic, they're not glass, so you shouldn't have to worry about them smashing, maybe if you have them in your luggage. I do still worry, even though these push stops on them, like the Visconti ones, are quite tight, I'm still worried about them leaking. So I tend to normally carry them in a like a 3-pen case if I'm taking 3 with me, and I normally put some kitchen towel over them as well, just in case if there is an inky mess, then it's a little bit more contained. But I wanted to show you these because I think these are really good pen fillers. If you need to re-ink your pens on the go, I think these are really good. Also, if you buy a lot of ink samples, then this is the easiest way to fill them, because at the end of the day, you can turn them upside down, let gravity have the ink fall down to the nib, and you can get a full fill from them. So you could actually empty any of your ink samples into one of these temporarily, and then fill a pen from it. So I really do think these are a very good product. I think Dante at Pineider has done something pretty cool here, and I'll be interested to see sort of over time how long they last. But at sort of the price of around €20, $25 if one does crack or break, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, because it really isn't going to cost an arm and a leg to try and replace them. So there you have it. That's the Pineider Pen Filler review. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.